I definitely would say, you've got to have one idea and one passion to spark that, but definitely just be open to where your idea evolves and grows and where it goes, definitely.
So take me through like some of the mechanics, because I guess, and it's probably worth stating again, even though this is episode 9 and I will upload the other episodes here, but for people who are finding this for the first time, and they haven't seen the other episodes, yeah, my goal with Changemakers, or the main reason that I'm doing this show, is one, because I personally want to make an impact in the world, and I want to actually hopefully inspire my kids to do the same. And so I'm trying to lead by example
Yeah.
from that sort of perspective. But I want to learn, so it's great. And I love people, so I'm naturally like a nosy kind of person who likes to chat to people. So, maybe it's just my escape from isolation, and I'm just like, I'm going to talk to people. But I really want, I want to hopefully, through the stories of people like yourself, have people get inspired, have light bulbs go on and think, hey, what could I possibly do? How could I make a change? And how could I start something? So when I talk about mechanics and wanting to talk about that, it's, I suppose, really diving into the details of how you started. Was there a critical kind of moment or something that happened that really made you go, okay, I'm going to do this, like, we're going to do this thing? Like, what was that moment like? And then how did it sort of unfold after that, in terms of putting the pieces in place, deciding to do a social enterprise, etc.?
Yeah, so just before we started the Big Sister Experience, I was doing a program for young women. It was all around relationships and sort of being happy on your own in order to attract good romantic relationships into your life. And I used to hold live events, and one event we had a young 18-year-old girl come along who was actually quite a bit younger than my sort of target audience at the time. And afterwards, Chris was always very heavily involved in that program as well. And afterwards we had a conversation with her and we said, was that actually of any benefit to you? And she said, yeah, actually it was, because with my friends, they don't really know how to support and it's awkward to talk to mum and dad about it. And then we sort of started thinking, like, who is teaching these young girls? Like, we're working with young women, but if we can get there earlier and empower them with education around making good decisions and being happy on their own, that would be so much more beneficial than trying to solve the problem years down the track. So Chris and I put our heads together. We're like, we're both from the classroom. What about, you start brain, what about if we do an in-school workshop? What about, like, what would it look like? So we basically put a sort of sketched out a rough program, and we approached, obviously being teachers, we've got 14 years teaching experience between us, so we've got a lot of connections. We started speaking to schools, and actually when we launched the Big Sister Experience, we thought it would be most valuable for year 11 and 12 girls. But the more schools we spoke to, they said, this is great, but this is almost too late. Like, we need you in for girls much younger, prevention and early intervention. So the more we spoke to schools, the more we sort of refined the program until we were ready to approach a pilot school. So we went and we said, look, this is the value of this program. These are the outcomes we're expecting to achieve. If you host us in your school, we would love to give you this for free in exchange. We just wanted really raw, honest feedback. And we took some photos and videos. We got permission from the girls, and I guess from there, the feedback that we received, even from the girls themselves, was so positive. And just the hugs that we got at the end of the workshop, it was almost like a physical, like, you're on the right track here.
And I think also Catherine and I are so into, we're personal development junkies. So everything that we always like to acquire more knowledge and skills. And I just think we just got better and better, and the program just kind of evolved as we grew confidence. And like you said, you're starting on this platform, and then you look back and you're like, oh, this, I came from here, and this is what I've learned. And we really took that feedback from the girls, and we developed then into, working with the parents and just taking that feedback from our target market. How can we help you? What do you want from us? And really developing a program that's, we were passionate about, but was also serving and really getting our message out there directly to what the girls, their families and teachers really needed. So I definitely would say, you've got to have one idea and one passion to spark that, but definitely just be open to where your idea evolves and grows and where it goes, definitely.
Such a good point. There's a guy that I follow in the States who's pretty much almost solo to blame for this as well. This guy, he goes by Coach Jay. I saw him on Gary Vee, if you're familiar with Gary Vee, and he was on Tea with Gary Vee, and he's just a really sincere guy. He does actually train people, so he's a personal trainer, but he's just got a really big heart. He wants to do a lot of great things for people in Canada and for young people as well. And he just started doing these lives twice a day, and so I'd sort of catch them in the middle of the day, and I really enjoyed getting to know people. I was surprised by how much connection I formed with people, all over the world, and that's been a really fun and interesting journey. And so again, that was kind of part of this, but he follows the guidance of like Sean Cannell from Think Media, who says, just start messy and then figure it out from there. And this other guy, Ken Josling, who says, jump off the mountain, build the plane on the way down. So it's a little bit of a kind of like, okay, maybe it's a bit of a billy cart that's sort of bolted together here at the beginning, and you've got a rocketing down a hill, not knowing if the wheels are going to fly off. But you're getting feedback and you're learning the whole time.
And the wheels probably will fly off, but hopefully not all at the same time. And there's one that you can keep going and you fix it, and it's better than ever. And that's definitely what has happened with us. I remember when we first started thinking, we would have our online program, and we thought, let's do a 6-month course. And we were working towards that, and we got to kind of 12 weeks and we had a little bit of a break, and then we got feedback saying actually 12 weeks is long enough for a teenage girl to commit to a course. So here we are. If we'd released that perfect and completed, 3 months of it would have gone to, I know we would have used it, but it's really got to evolve, and it doesn't need to be perfect and completely done before you release it, because that feedback is gonna help you build it up stronger than ever. I really believe we were part of a business group at the start, and that really, gave us the foundations to start off on the right foot. And you should always take advice from people in your industry, but some of the best advice we've received is people that are not in our industry and just looking at it from a different perspective that have allowed us to think outside the square and then take something really innovative from another industry and implement that into ours and come up with something really amazing that is unique to the Big Sister experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I love cross-pollination of sort of ideas. I think that is where a lot of the gold comes from. So we'll get to COVID in a second, because I'm sure that's been it's been a big thing for everybody to deal with. But I mean, before COVID, it sounds like, you guys really took off and gained a lot of traction relatively quickly, in comparison to a lot of other startups and organizations. And it seems that you've got, quite a few accolades. You're on the net, was it Channel 7, Channel 10, Channel 7?
Show and Studio 10, yeah.
Yeah, nice. How did that come about?
I think we just pitched our story to the producers, and just Bianca and I really believe in ask for what it is you want. And we really believe in that, and we just think, if they say no, well, we're where we are now. But if they say yes, what a bonus. So we really do put ourselves out there, and we say yes to every opportunity that really aligns with us and allows us to share our story. And it just showed within the first few months of, starting up our business, the media features and bookings that we got shows the immense need for a product like this. And we were speaking to the teacher, the first teacher we did the pilot school, and he just gave us the best point ever. He's like, moral and ethical guidance is more necessary than ever. But who's teaching this? Is it the parent's job? Is it the school's job? And while there's this great debate between parents and teachers and who needs to teach what, it's slipping between the cracks. And I really believe that's where we come in and really try and step in as that. We're not their teacher, we're not their parent, we're that, that big sister figure. And I really think that's where the success has come from, just the need for a program like this.